make a couple cuts into a different couple kinds of wood, kind of see how it does. This one's already started, I just want to finish it. Had to cut those anyways. Split. Take a piece of this beech nut. Tripping over it. Out of the way. Not bad, not bad. Got plenty of power. The 45cc saw is doing better than some other certain cc's. 50cc saw. Come on, give it to me. Actually, it's running really good. Well, daggone, man. That thing's running good. I like it. I was doing all right. I mean, it's dirty because the guy used it. And he left it that way to see that, yeah, the saw is used. He's being straightforward and honest. It's a working man saw. So it runs good. It's dirty and it needs to be cleaned up, and the bar is pretty shot. And I was able to sharpen the chain on the grinder to kind of get it straightened out, but it's still cutting a little weird. I'll go over the bar situation when we get in there. We're going to start cleaning this up. Let's see how it starts. A hot start. You can't beat that. What I like about Echo, they're just tough saws. And the gentleman said they had two of them. His dad must take good care of it. Dirty just means used. It doesn't mean it was abused. So let's go inside and we'll go through the saw and we'll start cleaning it up and see if there's any little kind of modifications we can make just to improve it a little bit. I don't want to go too crazy, But I mean, when I was getting in the wood, I was getting on the wood. And it's got plenty of torque. I'll tell you what, it's done better than a few other certain saws that I had, which are supposed to be more CC and more powerful. So that's why I love the Echo, because the Echo is a good torque, good cutting chainsaw. Let's go inside. So right off the bat, he had this, the angle on the teeth, super aggressive, like 35 degrees or more. So that was a little strong. I don't know if you can see it. This side is the tooth is shorter, and this side of the tooth is longer, and it's not cutting. It's wanting to fight itself as it goes through the log, and it partly does it because the bars wore out. So let's get the cover off of that, and I'll show you the bar up close. Now I'm going to file the bar for now, but I am going to order a new bar for it and some chains. I don't know if I'll get a kit like I did with those. This has a 20-inch bar on it, and it handles that 20-inch bar great. Needless to say, it handles that 20-inch bar better than, if you watch my other videos, that had a 20-inch bar on it that is always supposedly 5 cc's more. Just throwing bolts and nuts around. And of course, it goes. I gotta, yeah. Let me just put it this way. It fell in the grate or something. So I'm going to have to get my magnet and get it out. But I got a magnet, so that'll work. I'll get it out that way. And I got other nuts. I keep nuts for Echoes and for steel, because they tend to get lost. So, yeah, I mean, the saw is very dirty. Very dirty. I mean, he used the saw. It was a used saw. So knew that from the get-go. He had all the pictures, never hit anything or tried to mislead me at all. So, of course, what I expect from a gentleman my age or older, that's exactly what I expected. So, yeah, we got a lot of cleaning to do. Let's see how hot this is. Let me grab this. So, we just noodled some wood, and so it's a little bit hot. And I'm going to bring you in real close here in a second. I don't know if you can see it or not. I'm going to try to carry it on an angle. But there's a really bad lip here where this bar is just wore down. I mean, he never filed it. And it runs in the bar okay. I'll have to check the trueness for the 90 here. I've got to repair that. And it doesn't look hideous. Like I say, I think the only reason it's cutting a little crooked is not because of that. Just because he's got the teeth off on each side. This side, the bottom is really bad, which would be, well, it would be the, this would be the bottom. He had it on there backwards, of course. All that can be filed away, and that's not a big deal. Most bars are going to do that anyways. So let's take a peek at, so there's the clutch area, nice and dirty, like a used saw would be. So it's what I expect. Not a big deal. It runs good though. I gotta say, it runs good. So I'll have to start looking to see if I can cross my chains over and get so many different saws. It'd be nice if some of the chains crossed over. I have to buy so many different chains. I'm gonna have to buy stock and chain and then make my own chains. All right, let's get this cover off here. It's air filter. See what that looks like. It's probably dirty. I think he used the saw and put it away. And that's how he sold it. Alright. Now this is the 450p. So it's the so yeah, it's dirty. Not like hideous. Like the guy never ever tried to clean it. In the inside area is dirty, if you can see it or not. Flashlight, so you can see it's dirty. It's got. Hey, I'm a used saw inside of it. Let's take a look. I want to look in the throat of it. This thing's got. Let's see how much sawdust is in there. No sawdust. How you like that? That means Echo did a good job with their filters, which I can't say for every brand. It's a really nice filter in this. So I'm going to get all that blown out. Let's take a look and see what spark plug he's got in this thing and see what it looks like. So I got to know what parts to order for it. If I can find a good deal on a bar, I will. I was going to put an 18-inch bar on this and use this with the 45cc / the 50cc 260 competition and kind of throw this in as a wild card. But shoot, it's doing so good with that 20-inch bar on there. I think it's going to hold its own. That thing is hot. So I think it's going to hold its own. Oh yeah, it needs a new spark plug, but hell, it runs pretty good for, spark plug's gotten hot a couple times. I'm trying to see what it is. I have NKGs. Oh, it's an NKG. So just need to get another new spark plug and put in there. It run good on that one, but we're going to get it all cleaned up. And somewhere around here I have a bore scope, and I hope I'll find it between now and when I do the second half of this video. And we'll be able to look in the cylinder. I might be able to look in there with a flashlight and kind of see a little something. I don't know. It's hard to see. Pull the muffler off of it. I suspect it's probably clean. I'm sure he knows how to mix the right oil fuel mixture. So we got that. And this cover's got to come off. I'm going to stick that one back in there. Let's see, where's my spark plugs? I got new ones. I keep this stuff in stock. These plugs and stuff like that just to have around. The problem is if they're still good, I even put you, okay, there we go. Good to go, and I always double check to make sure. Oh, that's hot, hot, hot. All right, here's line up. That thing's still hot. That thing is holding some heat in there. That plug is hot. All right. I just don't want to be blowing the air stuff off this saw and have stuff everywhere. Get it up in the cylinder. That's a big no-no. I'm going to blow the air filter out. Put it back on, and then we'll clean all that out. Put that back on there. All right, put that out of the way. Let's take this top cover off here and see what it looks like inside. That was a little loose. But since I just got the saw, I want to make sure that I go through the thing. He's obviously used it. There's dust built up. Not everybody cleans them like I do. Every so often I'll take all the covers off, pull cord and everything, and clean it all up. Not everybody does that. It still runs good. They just keep on using it. And that's the way it goes. And that's probably the average person. That's just the way it is. All right, let's see. Should be one more. Yeah. I love my Echoes. I mean, I do. I like the Echoes better than I do the Steels. Steels have more options as far as CCs and different saws, whereas Echo's kind of limited on some of theirs. Oh yeah. So it's gotten the crusty critters all up in it. I don't know if you can see. Hopefully you can. So, all right, now let's pull this cover off here. I think I could use a Phillips head for that one. Like I said, I'd rather just go through the saw and get it clean. That little bit of stuff is probably not hurting anything a whole lot, but if it keeps getting clogged up, the saw is going to run hot. You don't want the saw running hot. You want the fins all cleaned off and everything getting airflow to all the parts so it can start affecting the saw. But we'll get it cleaned up. Like I said, I'll probably just file that bar for now. The chain's going to have to be sharpened one more time to get the teeth lined up. And that one's going to take a torque. I don't know why they would change that like that. They'd make every one of them Phillips and then come over here and make that Torx. And it's the Torx is different than the Torx I got out here. So I got to open my toolbox and get out the Torx for that. And I need to go grab my magnet anyways. I got my little magnet. This little thing's handy. I think I got this from, I don't know where I got it from. I might have got it from Walmart. But it had a light in it. It comes apart and I've lost pieces out of it. So hopefully I can get that piece out of there. I don't know what I do with it. Come on, nut. I don't know where that thing went down in there. There we go. Little handy little sucker. You lose stuff. I said I need to get new batteries for it. Alright, so the handle screw has to come off. It's a Torx. Round and round we go. When it stops, nobody knows. Round and around we go. I think there's a movie that has that. It's kind of a creepy movie. Alright, there's a little washer that comes with it, or a little cup-like piece. That moves out of the way, and this comes off here. Hold that back. Oh yeah, she's dirty. Whoop, I'll lose my parts. There, she's dirty, she's dirty. So you saw. So yeah. Covers comes off of that, black cover comes off of there. You gotta pull your wire, your turn-off wire, and your wire to your spark plug. Yeah, look at that. See? That buildup, that keeps all that heat trapped in there. Man, it's just a mess. Oh, that's a mess. I can blow most of that out with the air hose. It's not going to be a big deal. That's not a good plug. So, first thing I want to do, I'm going to go blow. I'm going to go blow this air filter out. Put that back on there because I don't want anything getting in the carburetor. And that wouldn't be good. Alright, that compressor's on. Now put this cover back on. We'll get that filter tightened down. Now everything's exposed, so we can go ahead and go outside and clean it off. I don't think it's going to take a whole lot to clean it off. Oh yeah. See all the fins up there? The fins all up in here. It's got tons of stuff on it. Definitely not good. It'll run a lot hotter that way. So let's get outside and get it cleaned up. Door, so I don't hear the compressor as much. So let's get this all blown off of here. We'll let that compressor build up. Yeah, you use your saws a lot. You really need to take all those covers off and do exactly what I'm doing right now every single year, or you're going to end up making this saw run hot. Yeah, it's all besides exhaust. Built up everywhere. Just a mess. All that getting built up around the coil is not good for the coil neither. Man, this boss, I bet you he's never done this since he's owned it. I almost guarantee it. You want to get all around all the fins on the jug and everything. Get it cleaned out really good. thing is just some nasty stuff. All right, we'll let that build up. Blow myself off. Ooh, that's one of the dirtier ones I've had in a while. Yes, sir. She's a dirty one. All right, let's see if that's a little better view when I'm cleaning it. Based on the way it was running, I think it's going to be a good saw. Just some maintenance. I'm not worried about it looking pretty. I'm worried about it functioning properly. After all, it is a tool meant to work, you know. But a cool motor is going to produce better power and last longer. I might need to get a little brush to put down in there. So this saw does have a magnesium case because it's a pro model. So I'm not worried about it getting too clean because I'm going to make it dirty again. Cover until it's cleaned off. I'm not going for a brand new saw clean. I'm going for still usable, workable saw clean. Hopefully that'll go back on there. I don't know how that thing sits in there. It just presses in there like that. I'll wipe it down a little bit, but no, I say it's going to go right back to work, so it ain't got to be perfect. We just don't need all that stuff up inside of it. Like this is inside the pull cover. That's all there. Blow myself off. Stuff gets everywhere. That shovel will have to be rinsed off before it goes in the wash machine or I'll be in trouble. Alright, just finishing up this cover here. Now, this is like just me getting it. Basically, I don't want to run it with a lot of this stuff up inside of it caked up this summer while we run it on the channel. So I just want to get at least that cleaned up enough so we're not going to cause any damage to the saw, overheated or something like that. So it's not like worried about getting it perfect. Usually I'll take a big tub, put some degreaser in it, soap and water or whatever, and I'll take just an old cheap brush like that, and I'll go through and I'll make this thing look like it was almost new. and we'll do that at another time. That's a winter project. So let's start putting this thing back together now. But I want to check a few things over before I start slapping it back together. So the pole rope is in really good shape. It looks like she's probably replaced it at some point. It looks fairly new. That knot is not factory, so it pulls good. It's got plenty of tension. It returns fine, so that's good. All right, let's take a look at a few other things. Switch my binoculars out here to these. So I'm looking at the clutch, and I'm looking at the play here on the needle bearing, and there's quite a bit of play. I mean, there's a little bit. It's not horrendous, but before the season's out, it'll get a new clutch, needle bearing, and all that. But I think it's good enough for what we're going to do with it for now. It does look like I got a little bit of stuff down here where the oiler is. So I think, well, no, that's not it. Let's see, where's the oiler? Oiler's up here. So like I said, I'm going to put it right back in the wood. There ain't no sense in getting it brand new clean. It belongs to me, so I'm not sending it off to a customer. So the clutch is probably original, but it grabs good. I was pretty hard on it in the wood, and it didn't slip or anything like that. So that's a good thing. When I go to clean it during the winter, I will replace the fuel filter, air filter, clutch, needle bearing, drum, which was the sprocket will be on it. I'll go through and replace the bulb right here. I don't do it on all of them, but since I just got this saw and it's really filthy, like even down in here, if I can get that out of the way. See, it's hard to get everything out with the air, but I'm being a little too picky. Doesn't really need to come out right now. But this comes apart really well to where you can get to everything. That's what I like about the Echoes. They're easy to work on. I like these old switches like here, old toggle switch. Very little problem with those. So the flywheel looks good. Trying to see if there's any side-to-side tension. I don't feel any. So, like I said, I got most of it cleaned. It's not like spick and span. I can sit here and wipe off stuff still. That's not the goal today. The goal today is to get the majority of it cleaned out. So this is a functioning saw. And one that's not going to grenade itself from overheating. So we'll just put this back on here. Who needs a ratchet? Just spin it around in a circle. Alright, the rest you can do with the Phillips. Yeah, I like my Echo saws. Like I said, they're easy to work on, they're affordable. And generally, they're very good running saws that last. And affordability and quality that last, that's a key thing. Alright, we're not lining up there. Why are we not lining up? I think I got it right. There we go. Just need to pull down on it a little bit. So you got these 3 screws and the one up top. I say I'll put a new fuel filter and all that in it later. If it gives me a fit, I'll put that in it. So when I get it, like I said, when I get a new saw like this, I'll go through it. It'll get all new gas filter, gas lines. The bulb will be replaced. I keep kits. I got plenty of that stuff. They're not much. Get them off Amazon. Get you some kits for dubbing hoses and filters and all that stuff. The Echo filter's kind of more specific. So you want to make sure you get one. As for the Echo, where the hose goes on, it's a little bit bigger than some of the cheap stuff. So just get the one that says it's for Echo. If you get the one that says for Echo, it still fits other stuff. It's a little tight on some of the gas lines, but other than that, it's fine. All right, we cleaned this out. Carburetor looked good. Not going to worry about the carburetor bolts right now. I didn't detect any leaks, you know, as far as air when I moved it around and pushed on it. There was no signs of there was any issues. This thing's going to need a good workout to really see how it does. Seems like it's tuned pretty good. Not thinking I'm going to do a lot with that. I might see if we can get a better set of dogs for it, but it is only 45cc, but that's 50cc. Look at the dogs on that. So if I can get upgraded dogs for that, I'll leave a link. Why don't y'all tell me I left this cover off? All right, I'm not going to show you me pulling it back apart. The part I forgot was to put the shield back in there. You got to put the wires back in there and feed your coil wire back in the cover. There's a little slot there, and there's a little groove right there that the wire sits on. All right, reverse, put it back together. Yes, sir. I'll tell you what, as a content creator, I can't even tell you how many times I've had to redo stuff. You almost get used to it after a while, because you forget stuff. It just happens. Or you didn't get the right take, or something like that. So if you ever want to be a content creator, get used to having to redo stuff sometimes. There ain't no way around it. It's going to happen. Even to the best of us. Alright. It lined up this time. I wonder why. I guess that little piece in there probably had something to do with it. Alright. Alright. I'm going to bore you with putting this other one back in. I'll bring it back when we get working on the top side. Okay, back where I was at. So we got the new plug in it, put the cover on it, put the cover on it here. The muffler, let's just go over that. The muffler looks like it's in really good shape. There is a pretty quick way of doing like a muffler on mod on these by removing these 4 bolts here. There's a lot you can do under this cover, and then you can open that up. It's just a little bit. There's a little C cup right there. You can grind that out. And mainly what happens is what's behind here, what's behind there. So we're not going to do that today because I'm just trying to get the saw going and getting it functioning properly. Jeez, that helps. I put it on the right way. Function. Get your function together, mister. And this just takes 3 bolts here in the top. Not any big deal. Like I say, these saws are pretty easy to work on. Straightforward, not a whole lot to get them apart. Actually, this whole piece slips off right here. You can get to the carb, take the carb right off. My little 310 Echoes, they're easy to work on. My 590 Echo is easy to work on. So they're easy to maintain. And if you don't maintain it, like I just did and like I'm talking about, well, I guess it still runs because this one still ran good. Yeah, it's just some people get them and run them. And they want them until they have a problem. They just go get a new one. And they'll sell it or get rid of it or give it away or whatever. Throw it away. I find all kinds of stuff like these on the auctions all the time. Get those fins cleaned out just a little bit more there. Couldn't see it on the top. I say, when I clean out with detergent, that'll clean up super, super nice. We're going for a work saw now. Alright, so my cover, got that cleaned off. Filter looked pretty good after I blew it off. We're going to run it the way it is right now. Alright, bulb's already pumped up. The bulb is looking a little old, discolored. It may give up on us at some point, and I might have to replace it. But like I said, I keep boxes and boxes of stuff like that. Different type of pumps that will fit a lot of different saws, so that's not a big deal. If you like working on stuff like that, I suggest you get some of that stuff because it's actually not hard to get. It's not that expensive to get them. So this bar is, like I said, it's Got a huge lip on that side. Not as big of a lip on this side, but they had flipped it upside down. Wish I had a level, my square in here, but I don't have a square in here. I did, and I took it out somewhere else. But so, I'm going to cheat. The best way you should do it is take a hand file and just run along on an angle like that. It actually just come right off. It don't take much. They usually get really bad right here at the tip. The tip gets really bad right here. Especially if you do a lot of bore cutting, you wear that tip out. So I can see it's got a big dip here. He's been bore cutting a lot with that sucker. Running that tip hard. We'll just see how it cuts for now. I'm going to throw another sharpening on that, take the teeth down a little bit more. They wear on the side, it flares out. Actually, I can see a big issue right here while I flipped it over. There's a big chunk of it missing right there. So we'll be getting a bar sooner than later. But for now, I want to go put it in the wood a little bit. See how the engine runs on it. I'm going to clean that hole out. So that's the oiler hole. It's filled up. Or not the oiler hole, this is the tip. So like I said, I like bars that have where you can grease them. And I don't know why. Steel doesn't think that's necessary. I guess they just want you to buy their high dollar bars all the time. Because you sure wear them out fast when you can't grease them. Let me go blow that out real quick. Get it up in there. I mean, the sprocket turns fine. It's a little gritty, but let me go clean it out. This is something fun I always like to do. You know that's loose. You can get the sprocket to spin like that. So this bar, he actually had it turned over, and this was busted out of it. So I'm turning it back over the original factory's way it came. Let's see how it cuts. It's well wore, of course, you know. It's original bar. He probably just kept putting a lot of good grease in it and a lot of good oil mix in it, and it just held up. Yeah, that brake, chain brake, has gotten used on a couple times. So that happens. It happens to everybody once in a while. You get ready to do what you go and you hit the throttle and you're like, oh, brake was still on. Alright. Sucker up in there. Should be lined up. That front stud isn't working too great. I'm going to have to put I can see it's got stuff in it. I'm going to have to, I've got a tap and die. I'll probably just clean it out. Looks like you might have accidentally got it on there. Started it one time or so by accident on an angle. And it's kind of fixed itself. It's a little stiff at first, and then it's getting better. I blew it off a minute ago. I couldn't even do it by hand. So now I can, but it's still a little stiff. So that's all maintenance stuff I'll do later on. Alright, let's get this bar. Oh, I did it again. See, this is take 2. So I was going to sharpen it again. Yep. I get talking to you guys, and I lose my train of thought. Well, I'll take this apart, sharpen it, and we'll get back to where we are right now in just a second. Do this a couple thousand times and you'll get used to it. This side's a lot longer than the other side. So that's why it's cut crooked. That's why I have one of these so I can straighten the stuff out. I do a lot of stuff in the field and I try to count my strokes, but it doesn't always work out. watch that. Okay, this is where I left off, putting the nuts back on there. We'll see. It's probably going to cut a little crooked. I think the bottom of that bar is wore. It's all right. Probably cut good enough. I said I just flipped the bar over from when I first cut, and it was off a little bit. We'll see. That's one way to find out. Go use it. And we'll do another video later on after I get a few parts for it and a few mods that I want to do to it. We'll do another video on that. I don't want to make everything in one video. We got to have something to make videos about. And I can tell that tip. That tip. Dang. You got a big gouge out of that. That ought to be, yeah, that'll be interesting. It's all good. At the end of the video, I'll tell you how much I paid for it. And you can let me know if I paid too much for it or not. And I think stuff like that is kind of subjective. But we'll talk about it then. Nice and sharp. I think I got each tooth very close. Just this side is still a little bit shorter than this side. I'd have to take quite a bit off, but I have it adjusted in that. It's hitting that tooth and that tooth, so it's okay. We can keep fixing it if we need to keep fixing it. All right, let's go get into some wood. Some maple. It's probably, what, maybe a foot across, something like that. Be a good test subject. See how it does. This is probably a fair, decent piece of wood to try this out on. It's going to be a little bit weird because it's going to try to hit that one. I don't know if I can get in here or not. But we'll just test it out. I just want to run it for myself and see how it does. And I'm glad you're coming along for the ride. I wanted to see if I didn't have to choke it or not. All the way, but I'm going to go ahead and make a couple cuts, and then I'll run up and get the tuning screwdriver, and we'll tune it a little bit, see if it gets a little better. Open up a little better once they've warmed up a little bit. Make one more cut, then I'm going to go grab the screwdriver. tune it a whole lot more. But let me go grab the screwdriver. I think the low side needs to be adjusted a little bit. These usually have limiters, so I'll go grab the screwdriver. Sure did seem like it was doing better with that old plug in it, old spark plug in it. I have gotten bad plugs before. Hang on, it should be. Can't quite. Hang on it. Where are they hiding that? Oh, there it is. It's like, where's it hiding that? So, let's see. High, low. The low on this one's on the inside. I'm going to take and turn it. So I can get to it. I'm going to turn it. I think he's got it turned all the way up. Low. I don't know how some people run these things in lows all the way closed, but no, it's all the way open. Open as far as it'll go. It's got limiters in it. I don't know how to deal with that. So, yeah, it's opened up. It's opened up as far as it'll go. So, that's normal for echo, but I can deal with that. Let's run it a little bit more and see how it does. Actually, I think I'm going to run it on that piece of chestnut oak I got right there. This maple is actually a little hard to cut into. That chestnut oak probably do pretty good. That one underneath it's a little smaller. I got a little smaller piece over there. I just want to see how it opens up instead of cutting right at the maximum amount it'll cut. I got this little piece right here. Catching on the chain somewhere on that bar. It catches every once in a while. It doesn't mind you getting on it and pressing into the cut. It just keeps going. It's got really good torque, that's for sure. I cut some of this smaller piece right here. Cut's nice. I mean, that's probably closer to the size that you would cut with it. A little bit bigger. I mean, that one's not bad. Take you a little teeny bit longer, but this little saw's got good power. Gotta have cookies everywhere. logs that I would anticipate cutting a lot of is stuff like this, you know, 12 inches and under, you know, bucking up branches off a tree, stuff like that is kind of what I would think when I think about this saw. Having a little 45 is light, easy to handle, you know, easy to be walking around and stuff, holding. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this log up a little bit. I got to cut them up into lengths anyways. Might as well do it right now. Why not? It's all firewood. Kind of tangled up here, but all right. See how well it handles that power. You do a little piece here. Got stuff everywhere. Not a bad little saw. I'll tell you in just a second how much I paid for it. Let me play around with it a little bit here. Let me have a little fun with it. Kind of got myself in a trap here. It's doing pretty darn good. So, let me let you know the end scoop on it here. Swing it around. Yes, sir. So, the gentleman had it listed on the marketplace, 175 bucks. And I looked at the saw. He said it was a good running saw, and it just needed a little bit of maintenance, that he's been very happy with it. So I looked up the reviews online to see what people said about it, because I haven't had this size echo. So this is 15 cc's more than my little 3010s, and I like my 3010s, and they got 16-inch bars, and they do pretty good. So I said, you know what? I want to compare this to the G260, which is a 260 clone from steel. And then I have the Neotech clone of the MS250. And I said, you know what? This will fit right in with those two saws. It'd be perfect to do a comparison with them and this saw. And I'm a fan of Echo. So I said, that is perfect. So I gave him $168. I needed to run in and grab change, and he said, you don't worry about the $175. And I had no problem giving him the $175. I think the saw is well worth it. So now you can leave in the comments, did I get duped? Did I pay too much? Or did I get a fair, even, good price? Or I got a steal? You can let me know what your thoughts are. So I like Echo, so I'm biased to it, but it's got the Echo feel. It's definitely, when you get into the wood and you get on it, I mean, within the CC, what you can expect for the CCs, this saw has good torque and pull. So my thought is they still make this saw. If you're looking for like a, I don't know, I like this better than MS250. I have an MS250, and I'll share that sometime. I just like the Echo for, well, they're torquey, and they got good power, and they're easy to work on, and they're affordable. At least, probably on average, a quarter of the cost of what you'd pay for a steel. And I think the quality's there, and the workability's there, parts are there. All the stuff that matters to a consumer is there. So, yeah, great little saw. I'm really happy I got it.